Yo Google, I'm back. You may remember me from my last video where I brought to your attention how a florist in Queens was manipulating the Google Maps platform in order to obtain business while deceiving consumers. Well, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of angry florists after my last video, and they've really been getting on me for an update and tell them how that thing all played out. But before we get to that, I think I really need to bring this to the attention of everybody, how this is far beyond a floral industry problem. Alright, we need to understand how this is affecting all areas of business and deceiving consumers on a global scale. So first we need to understand who is creating these fake locations on Google Maps, as I like to call popping pins. Alright, so in the example of the Queens florist, his goal was to gain more business, so what he would do is create a fake location, say Park Avenue or say Camden Plaza in Brooklyn. And this way, when you typed into your search bar florist in Manhattan or florist in Brooklyn, a pin would populate. And when you click that little pin, the information would pop up. There'd be a website, a phone number. And in turn, this would drive traffic to his location in Queens, where he would actually fulfill the order. So, the real problem lies within these marketing companies who actually don't have locations at all. And they're just popping pins all over the place at will. Say 99 SEO Prime, for example. But what they do is they'll take the domain name, say exterminatornyc.com, for example. And when you type in Exterminator NYC into your Google search, you'll click on that pin, which probably populated first on your Google search bar because they paid and Google took their money. Alright, and they'll take your information, they'll find you an exterminator. Say the job would actually cost you $200. They'd find the cheapest exterminator in town who would do it for, say, $100. They would take that $100, put it in their pocket, send you the most cut-rate exterminator, and at the end of the day, the consumer got a half-rate job, overpaid for it. The local exterminator lost the job, and this marketing company made money for placing a fake pin. Alright, so let's go see who else is doing this as well. We'll make this quick because I know you guys don't like looking at my computer screen. Alright, if anyone was interested, this is the company, 99 SEO Prime, Vivu Galba is who they're registered to. And this SEO, theoldsourcebot.com, they're responsible for so many fake reviews and fake pins all over Google Maps. They actually work for a company called Local Blossom. It's a Canadian floral company. That's where I found them. But anyway. So, when you go into your Google Maps search bar, you type in Maps. The first thing that pops up is Google Maps because they've monopolized the whole search engine. And the first thing that they say is find local business, which is quite laughable. So, what happens when you type in plumber in Queens? Your search bar is going to populate. You click on the maps. All these pins, these are the pins we're referring to, will pop up. And then you got Roto-Rooter on the left side popping at the top. See that little green box that paid at? Google made money off of that. So you start clicking on these pins. For example, AJC Plumbing. Click that pin, this information pops up, phone number. But when you actually go to the street view, there's no plumber there. It's a residential home. Alright, then you got 74th Street. It's a diner. Alright. So you got a Roto-Rooter over here, 21630 90th Avenue in Queens Village. Another residential home, again in Brooklyn, an apartment building. This is my favorite. This is a Roto-Rooter in the Bronx. It's a Bush. There's definitely no plumber there. Oh, maybe, no, that's not a plumber. Alright, another residential home. So you see Roto-Rooters doing it. There's a Roto-Rooter in a parking lot. They have fake pictures up. This whole crew of Roto-Rooter plumbers right there. That's a different parking lot with all those Roto-Rooter vans. But, so, what do you do if you find one of these fake listings? How do you get rid of it? So what you would do is you click on the listing, right? You find this one, florist.com, one of my faves. Alright, this is if you do it on the mobile. You go to suggest and edit, and then you click on it. The place doesn't exist. This is spam. And maybe, just if you're lucky, Google will publish your edit. I'm a local guide at this point. I've been really great. So, success. Your edit has been published. Florist.com, this place doesn't exist. Let's say you're feeling frisky. But you really do need to be careful because sometimes the fake pin will correlate with the website that does have that address there, 225th Avenue in New York. But what happens if you order? Boom! You actually do get a product. But like I said, they took your information, brokered it out to someone else, and then you got a fruit bouquet by 100flowers.com, which is great. And then that pin will go back to its place where it belonged in the first place, over at 100 Flowers in Carl Place, who that domain is registered to. Alright, so enough with the computer. I hope you guys can see how these fake locations are directly affecting local businesses and deceiving consumers. And it's not fair because I pay a lot of money in rent every month to have my pin on Google Maps at 4005 Queens Boulevard, deservedly. You know, the fact that anyone can just go place pins wherever they want is absurd. I'll tell you what, the other day, I created a pin for a politician, Jimmy Van Brammer over here, and if you want it back, just give me an email, I'll authorize it right back to you. And more disturbingly, I was able to create a pin for Vice News over in Dumbo, Brooklyn. What? I now have the ability to post publicly on their behalf, interact with their reviewers, and I think if you really look into that, the fact that I created a pin and control the listing for a politician and a credible news network, how catastrophic that could be if someone with malintent did it. Well, I'll tell you what, actually, the last article I read, this is not a new issue, it's been going on for years, but the most recent article I read was that people were placing fake pins for drug rehabilitation centers. You can read about it on Krebs on Security, wrote a great article about it. Fake drug rehabilitation centers. And people were going on there looking for help, and they would go to one of these fake drug rehabilitation centers, and they would be driven to I don't know what they were driven to, but 2 people died, is the bottom line. So Google Maps steered these people looking for help into death, and still nothing has changed. So what can we do to help? I don't know. Perhaps we can make Google verify these listings before we make them live. How do we do that? It's quite simple. I have a business license, a tax ID, and a driver's license, and they all match up. So perhaps we could send that information into Google before we make a listing live. And I feel like that's a very simple solution to the problem. So I know you guys have been waiting for my update, and here it is. It's pretty anticlimactic. I know you guys wanted it to be 100 Flowers. It wasn't. It was just a rogue, renegade, ex-100 Flowers franchisee who was making those fake pins and delivering the flowers in a 100 Flowers van. He actually painted over his van. It doesn't say 100 Flowers anymore. He took down the 100 Flowers trademark items off this website. And he actually came here last Friday, before I opened the store, was waiting for me, and asked me to stop writing negative reviews about his fake flower shops. So I did, because I felt bad about him, because he's not the freaking problem, it's Google. The problem is that Google is allowing these people to place these fake pins at will with no repercussions. And Google takes no responsibility for it. They actually collect money on the fake ads that populate these fake pins above the others, which to me is insane. So, what are we going to do to stop it? What can you do at home? Well, the easiest thing you could do is go on to change.org, sign my petition. It's called Make Google Do It. And basically all it says is, hey Google, please verify these pins before we list them. You know, if you're feeling really ambitious, you could take the channels that I did. I don't know, reach out to the Attorney General, the FTC, the FBI, IC3, Internet Crimes Unit, Mayor de Blasio, Andrew Cuomo. Well, nobody has actually gotten back to me. It's insane. Alright, maybe if you're in a local union, maybe a carpenter, a painter, a plumber, I don't know, any of those, you could reach out to your officers, your brothers, come together, and maybe our unions could put a little bit of pressure, because these fake listings are taking money right out of your pocket, and nobody messes with our unions. The union members of this country built this country with their bare hands. Tunnels, bridges, skyscrapers, the power grid. It's time for a change. If we do nothing, then nothing will change. And I'll tell you what, I've actually set up this email. It's called Make Google Do It. It's on yahoo.com, not Google, obviously. So if you want to email me your problem, how Google has actually hurt you, please do. It's makegoogledoit@yahoo.com. Send me your problems. For example, a guy over here in Sunnyside, Cool Down Juice, Google marked his business closed. For 2 months it took him to get him open because one of his competitors suggested an edit that he wasn't open. So you should have seen him. He was way more frantic than I was. But I would love to hear your story. Maybe it's not even Google, maybe it's Amazon or some other rotten egg. Send your story to makegoogledoit@yahoo.com. And maybe I could help you as well. And if you have any ethical and compliance issues, you could reach out to Andy Hinton at google.com. And he's the Chief Compliance and Ethics Officer at Google, who I have been emailing directly with, who has also done nothing, even though he's heard all of my concerns. After that, if you work for the media, you know someone in the media, I have over 1,300 files saved to, I don't know, like 20 disks that I would love to share. There's so much more information to be heard, and I think it's time that we brought this to light. But like I said, if we do nothing, nothing will change. It's time to step up and stop letting Google take advantage of the little guys. And sometimes you just have to deliver the karma yourself. My man. Enough is enough, Google. You're hurting a lot of people, and with great power comes great responsibility. And it's time to step up to the plate and end this. Thank you for listening.